breath that you like to practice, whether it's longer exhalations than inhalations, whether it's your natural breath, whether you want to come right to Ujjayi breath right away. I'm going to invite you to do that. But today I'm just going to take my hands to my belly and have my natural breath guide me. So as we move through this practice, if you're finding that your breath is getting caught in your throat or you're struggling to breathe, this is feedback that your body is giving you that you need to back up and slow down. So today and always, as in the yoga practice, we're talking about making sure that we connect with our bodies in a way that feels good. So this is for me what I like to call joyful movement. So I'm not here to criticize my body. This particular practice, I'm not here to go hard. I'm here to move and feel good in my body, and that's what I want to do for this practice. So go ahead and deepen your breath here. So if you want to place your hands on your belly, inhale, feel the belly expand. Even feel the low ribs or the ribs expand outward. And as you exhale, draw the belly back in and see if you can squeeze the belly a little bit to get that lower lobes of the lungs, that stale breath of the lower lobes of our lungs out. And just relax the shoulder blades onto the back. Lift the collarbone so that you can get a deeper breath here. Inhaling, let's sweep the arms high to the sky, reach up. And now go ahead and let's take our left hand to the floor, right hand reaching up and over for a nice side stretch. And then come all the way up. Release the right hand to the floor. Sweep the left arm up and over. Perhaps maybe even turning the chest up to the sky here a little bit. And now go ahead and lace the fingertips behind the low back. Squeeze between the shoulder blades and lift the heart. Beautiful. Now sliding your hands onto your knees. Let's tuck the chin to the chest and round. And then inhale. Curl the shoulder back. Lift the throat open. And exhale and round. Inhale and open. Exhale and round. And just follow the measure of your own breath. So you're going to hear me say a lot of things like you, do, you, boo. That's my favorite in this practice. So if there's something I'm doing that doesn't feel good for your body, then go ahead and change it up. Use your own creativity and your own ingenuity and move organically through the practice as it feels good in your body. Okay, let's do 2 more of these. And then coming back to seated, we're going to take our right hand, place it on our left knee, left fingertips behind you, root down through your sit bones. Go ahead and twist all the way to the left. Come back through center, and then take your left hand to your right knee, take your right fingertips behind you, root down through your sit bones, and twist all the way to the right. And now let's do that one more time each side. I like to do a nice twist. It's really good for opening up the back body. And back through center and second side. Good. And now let's go ahead and make our way onto our hands and knees. I have a pad on my mat that helps support my knees. What would be great to have is a blanket. You can also slide a blanket underneath your knees. You can also use your bolster or any fold your mat if that helps. Now taking your hands slightly in front of your shoulders, knees slightly behind your hips, so we can get a lot of length in the sides of our waist. Let's go ahead and do a few cat-cows here. Just to get the body moving, starting to warm up the body. You can either have the tops of your feet down, the shoelace sides of your feet down, or you can curl your toes under. The option is always yours. And let's do 2 more breaths here. So every time you exhale, you're rounding the spine. Every time you inhale, you're softening. And then coming back to your flat back, let's take our right arm out to the right, and then slide your right arm underneath your left, bringing your outer shoulder and your head toward the floor, stretching between the shoulder blades. If your head doesn't quite make it to the floor, you can place your block or meditation cushion underneath your head just to support. Good. And now inhale, press into the hand, reach the right arm back up to the sky, and release the right hand back to the mat. Now take the left arm out to the left like a bird's wing, and then slide the left arm underneath the right, Bringing the outer shoulder down, the side of your head down. Just taking a few minutes to breathe. Good. One more breath here. Pressing into the hands, lifting the left arm high to the sky, and now releasing the hand to the mat. Big toes together, knees wide, and bringing your bottom back towards your heels. I'm stacking your forearms one on top of each other and just rocking side to side here. We're not going to be here for long. If you find that this is excruciating on your knees, come to seated with the soles of your feet together. We will, like I said, we won't be here for long, just taking a moment to breathe. Good. One more breath. Lifting the head and the heart, planting the hands forward. Let's scoop the body forward, come up into tabletop position, curl the toes under, and let's lift our hips up and back into downward facing dog. If downward facing dog is not on your radar for today, I want you to come back to your cat-cow whenever we come to down dog. If down dog is good for you today, then I invite you to pedal your feet out, roll your heels back, move your head from side to side, just start to move into the body. Really root down through the knuckles, spread the palms out wide, fingertips or finger pads are pressing down fully. We're just really opening up that back body. Now take a deep breath in and slide the shoulders forward over the wrists, lower the knees down, and then bring the chest forward, looking up. And then exhale with knees wide apart. Bring the bottom back toward the heels, forehead toward the floor, up onto the finger pads, lifting the arm bones. And then come forward back into tabletop position. Plant the hands fully, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, press back in through your heels. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, come up onto your tippy toes, slide your shoulders forward, lower your knees down, lower your hips down, take your chest forward, look up. And then tuck the toes under and bring the bottom back toward the heels, forehead down toward the floor, arm bones lifted up onto the pads of the fingers, getting in between the shoulders. One more time, planting the hands, coming forward into tabletop. You can stay in tabletop into your cat-cow. You can move back to down dog if that feels a lot more available to you. It doesn't matter. You can come forward to plank, lower the knees down right away. Bring the hips forward, look forward, and then exhale, taking the knees out wide. Come up onto the tips of the fingers, lifting the arm bones, releasing the head down toward the mat. Doesn't have to touch. Inhale back to tabletop position. Exhale back, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. And then take your feet out nice and wide. And let's walk our hands back towards our feet, soften our knees. Binding at opposite elbows, let the crown of the head come toward the floor. And you can rock side to side if you like here, or just let everything soften down. Good. Bringing your hands to the waist, shoulder blades on the back, press down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And now sweep your arms high to the sky, nice and slow. Exhale, hands through heart center, and let's walk forward to the top of our mat. Lift and spread your toes, root down through your feet, drawing your lower tips of your shoulder blades onto your heart and turning your palms forward. We're pushing down and we're pushing wide, so we fire up our quads and our glutes, and just feel what it feels like to be in your body. Taking a deep breath in, let's sweep the arms out nice and slow, reaching all the way up. And now let's bring the hands through heart center, bend at the knees, and then reach the arms straight back behind you. Inhaling slowly, sitting back into chair pose, reaching the arms forward, and then sweeping all the way back up. Bringing the palms together, lacing the fingertips together, releasing the index fingers to the sky, lean to the right. Come back through center, and now lean to the left. Take your time. Inhale back through center, look up. Exhale, bend forward, separate the hands, reach the arms straight back behind you, look back towards your knees, reaching the arms wide, and then pressing down through the heels, sitting back into chair, sweeping the arms forward and all the way up to standing. Releasing the fingertips together, releasing the index fingers to the sky, leaning to the right, and then coming back through center and leaning to the left. Back through center, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, bending at the knees, reaching back behind you. Opening up. Inhale to chair. We're going to stay in chair here for our next option. Staying right here in the chair, you have the option to stay here with your legs nice and wide. Okay, if you want to bring your feet together, you certainly can do that if that makes more sense for you. And then taking your right hand forward, taking your left hand back into an open-ended twist. And then come back through center, both arms forward. And then right arm back, I should say. And then coming forward, and then sitting back, and let's keep going. Left arm back, open up, open chain twist. Back through center, and then second side. Back through center, and then let's fold forward, reach the arms straight back behind us. Good. Now when you're ready, release your hands to blocks or to the floor. Take your feet out, back to about 2 fists width apart if they're not there already. Soften your knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And now we're going to take a giant step back with our right foot, tapping our right knee down to the mat. Inhaling, reaching up with the arms. Anjaneyasana, sink into that front hip. Exhaling, bringing the hands to the blocks or to the floor. Tuck the shoelace side of your right leg down. Walk your hands back with your block. Flex your toes. Push out through the mat of the big toe. Now if it's too much stress on the knees to come back this far, stay a little bit higher. Okay, stay in your runner stretch. You don't have to come back that far. And now bend into the square of that left knee. Plant your right hand on the block. Take your left arm to the sky. And let's take a little bit of a twist here. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. And now bring both hands back to the mat, either framing the foot or both hands on the inside of the left foot if it makes more sense. And then curl the back toes under, lift the back knee up. And let's sit into a nice deep lunge here for a moment. Let's take a few breaths. Good. Beautiful. One more breath, take your time. Now we're going to pivot our toes around to the long edge of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. I'm going to use my blocks here to bring my forearms down to the blocks. Lift your sit bones to the sky. Take a few minutes to breathe here. We're going to get a little bit more dynamic with this movement in a moment. Breathing deeply and slowly. Now taking our right hand to the floor, right underneath her nose, and taking our left hand to her waist, let's twist to the left. If you want to bring your left fingertips to the sky, go ahead and do so if that makes more sense for you, if that feels good, if that's in your wheelhouse, please, by all means, take what you need. And then release that left hand to the floor, and then take the right hand to the waist or the fingertips to the sky, whatever works for you. Good, back through center. And then let's take a half lift, lifting the torso as close to parallel to the floor as you can. Use the blocks if that gives you a little more length in the arms. Exhale, and now let's pivot around to the back of our mat. So looking over at the right toe, walking our fingertips around, lowering our left knee down to the floor, bringing our hands up to our right leg. And then inhale, sweeping up into your Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Good, take a moment to breathe. And then when you're ready, and there's no rush here, we can curl the back toes under, shoelace side down of the left foot, and then take your runner stretch, whatever that looks like for you. For me, I like to sit a little bit deeper, push out through the mound of my big toe. Take a moment just to explore sensation. Notice where I may be feeling it, not pushing, not forcing, just being in your body for a few moments. And then when you're ready, you can walk your hands or blocks forward, bend into that right knee, pressing into the left block, or pressing your fingertips to the floor, reaching your right arm up to the sky, taking a twist here. Good. and then releasing when you are ready. I'm going to use these blocks to lengthen my arms. We're going to step back into downward facing dog, tabletop, or child's pose. If you opt for tabletop, take a cat-cow. If you opt for down dog, I'm going to invite you to come forward into plank pose and move back into downward facing dog. And take your time. Maybe inhale, tuck the chin to the chest and roll forward, looking forward, and maybe exhale and lift up onto the tippy toes. Press back toward the heels. If you're taking cat-cow, maybe rock with your cat-cow forward and back. So if you're in cat-cow, maybe you take this as your dynamic movement. And if you're in down dog, maybe you add vinyasa, right? Maybe you come forward into plank, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, roll through cobra. Exhale, press back through tabletop and back to down dog. So really take a moment to move with whatever feels good here, as slowly or as quickly as you like. You can maybe do 4 vinyasas, which is what I'm doing here. Maybe you do cat-cow and you add a spinal balance or a bird dog, lifting the left leg and the right fingertips if you're in tabletop position, and alternating doing that instead. Okay, playing, staying in cat-cow maybe, just being really creative in customizing your practice to whatever you need. Or maybe you're hanging out in down dog, who knows? Maybe that's where you're at this morning. But wherever you're at this morning, just enjoy the movement. Just be in your body. Knowing that there's no right or wrong here, that there just is what you need. And that movement can be joyful. And when you're ready, meet me back into tabletop or into downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. And because I have blocks under my hands, my arms are a little bit longer, it's a little easier for me to walk to the top of my mat, but I do walk wide to make space for the center of my body. Fold forward when you make it to the top of your mat. And then when you're ready, let's inhale and reach up. Right hand grabs a hold of left wrist and let's crescent over to the right. And back through center. And crescent over to the left. Inhale, reach up and sweep the hands wide and around. Come to resting your hands on your waist and step back with your right foot. Let's come into our first warrior pose. Now go ahead and making sure that you're taking a nice wide stance in warrior. Don't be afraid to go big. And then watch in warrior that this front knee doesn't like to dip in toward the center of the mat. Align it so that it's right over your ankle, but you can still see your toes. This thigh doesn't have to be parallel to the floor. I've never been able to do that. It's not required. Just bend into the square of your knee and push down and wide into your feet. Look out over your center middle fingernail. And then let's add a little movement. We're going to turn the palms up to the sky. Bring the hands together overhead in prayer. Sweep the hands down through center. And let's dive to the inside of that left leg. And then we're going to swim the right arm back, left arm forward. Both arms come up, palms come together, hands come through heart center, and sweep. Now if you find that this is a lot for you this morning, stay in your warrior pose. And maybe come back to your reverse warrior and back to warrior. So you have the option to do this one, opening up through the hip, where we take the right hand back, left arm up to the sky, and coming both arms back, and coming back through center. One more time. Sweep. Open. And now let's take our left forearm to our thigh, right arm up and over the ear. I'm always challenged with my right and left. Only when I'm driving am I not challenged. Go ahead and curl open. And now taking your right hand down to the floor, let's pivot around on our toes once again. Taking a little bit more dynamic movement this time. We're going to bow down to the center of our body. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. We'll do a few of these. Go at the measure of your own breath. Go at the pace of your own body. And if this is not for you, choose something else. One more time, lift up, hold. Push out through the heels, lift your chest. And then bend your knees slowly, walk your hands back to center. Hands come to the thighs, chest moves upward. And then right toes turn out to the back of the mat. Circle your arms wide and stay here. Option to hang out here for this next series. Option to move back and forth between warrior, extended side angle, and peaceful warrior. Or option to sweep the arms up, palms together, and now dive to the inside of the right leg. Come open back, reach back, both arms come up, hands come down through heart center, and dive through, open. Take it at your own pace. Work as quickly or as slowly as you like. Just getting some movement in our body, just enjoying our breath, just being here now. Nothing to prove, no one to see, only joyful movement. Make it joyful. Last time through whatever you're doing. And then meet me in that peaceful warrior. Holding here. Left hand to the back of the thigh, right arm up and over the ear. And now let's bend deeply into the square of our right knee. Bringing our right hand to the floor. Left arm up and over the ear. Good, breathe. And now bringing our left hand down to the floor. Let's spin up onto our back toes. I'm going to hop in a little bit more, making sure that my stance is a little bit shorter. I'm going to bring my hand down to the inside of my right leg, and I'm just going to sit into the pose here. Take a few moments to breathe. You'll notice I'm up on my fingertips because my blocks aren't present for me right now, so when I don't have my blocks, I come up onto my fingertips. If you can come down onto your hands, great. If you can come down onto your forearms, that's fine too. But just find where this works for you. I like coming up onto my finger pads because it really strengthens my forearms. It's really good for strengthening my wrists if you have carpal tunnel, strengthening the joints of my fingers, to keep me from aggravating or developing or creating more strength in my hands. Take a nice deep breath in. Now plant your hands. You can lower your knee down, come back to tabletop, or you can press back to down dog. Take a few moments here. If you're in tabletop, I'm going to invite you to come back to cat-cow. If you're in down dog, let's take a few either forward to plank and back, or you can move through vinyasa. So I'm going to invite you to take what you need here and customize your practice any way that feels good. If you want to do push-ups, if you want to do spinal balance here, right? There's lots of options you can take to make this practice your own, and I want to encourage you to do that. This is autonomy in your practice. This is you doing you on your mat. So let's do 2 more repetitions of whatever you chose this morning. And then maybe back into down dog. Take a few minutes to breathe here. Lowering your knees down to the mat. Curling your toes under, walking your hands back towards your knees. Let's come to standing on our knees, curling your shoulder blades back onto your back. Lifting your heart, camel pose. Stay here for your first option in camel. Or reach your arms high to the sky. You can also reach back, right heel, left heel, or both heels if it feels good. Opening the throat. Beautiful. And releasing. Coming back to your cat-cow. And now let's make our way to seated. Planting our feet flat on the floor, we have the option for a reclined pigeon. So you can take a seated pigeon first, crossing the right ankle over the left knee and walking the left heel in a little bit closer. Okay, you can stay here. You can come onto your back here, bringing the knee into the chest and holding the top leg. Or you can make your way into your version of pigeon. So if you want to do a traditional pigeon, right knee forward, left knee back, you can play with that as well. So just find the place where you find sensation. You can play with the pose in whatever way makes sense for you. Do what feels good. You'll notice that I didn't cue this because not everybody's into this pose. So do your version of pigeon, whether it's seated, laying on your back, coming forward into prone, taking the bind. You can play with whatever makes sense for you. This is why I kind of like this, if I can get it to lasso, yeah, why I like this strap, because you can really play. And then when you're ready, we're going to release and come to the second side. So if you're taking the seated version, come onto your bottom. You're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee, and then I like to press into my hands and walk my bottom a little bit closer to my right heel, and then I get a feeling of a stretch in my hip. That's your first option. Second option, you can come onto your back, knee into your chest. Third option, if it's available to you, is you can take your version of pigeon, whether it's the more traditional version of pigeon, whether you take a bind, but you know what? Do the pigeon that works in your body. Take a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, let's make our way onto our backs. If you're there already, draw your knees into your chest, rock side to side. You're getting there, take your time getting there. Rocking side to side. And then floating your arms out into T or cactus if that makes more sense, and letting your knees fall over to the right side. And then coming back through center and moving your knees over to the left side. I like to end my class with a little bit of a reclining twist because it feels good. And then I'm going to invite you to take whatever pose that we didn't get to do in class that you were dying to do. So if there's a pose that you want to do here, if you want to take an inversion, whatever you want to do here, I want you to honor that. I'm going to come into bridge pose. So walking your heels closer to your bottom, tucking your shoulder blades underneath you, maybe if it's available to you, touching the back of your heels, not required. If it's available to you, lacing your hands underneath you, grabbing a hold of your mat, and using that for leverage is a nice way to come into bridge pose. But choose what works for you. Take 3 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly lower your hips down to the floor. And make your way to your final rest, whatever that is for you. I'm going to bring my soles of my feet together, knees wide, because I really like a little bit of extra hip opening. You can bring your hands to your belly. You can do whatever speaks to your heart. And then find your way to your final rest. And I'll walk you through your Savasana, so it's going to get really quiet, but I'm still here. So you can come to your traditional Savasana if it feels good. Right heel to the right edge of the mat, left heel to the left edge of the mat, palms facing upward, arms out wide. You can also come to laying on your side with the blanket between your knees, using your right or left bicep as your pillow, depending on what side you're laying on. You can take a downward facing Savasana, where you lay on your belly and bring your knee up to the side. You can rest in child's pose. You can take seated. Whatever works for you. Go ahead and choose your final rest. And once you've softened there, take a deep breath in Exhale and release everything away. Soften the face, soften the jaw, relax the shoulders. Take a few moments just to be. Gently bringing your awareness back into your body by taking a slightly deeper breath in through the nose. Exhaling perhaps out through the mouth, maybe sighing. And now stretching perhaps the arms up to the sky and the legs away, taking a full stretch. And then one at a time, drawing one or both knees into the chest if that feels good. Gently rocking side to side. Gently making your way up to seated. Folding your hands in front of your heart. Tipping your fingertips in towards your heart and bowing your head towards your fingers, taking an opportunity to be grateful and thankful to your body for showing up today in whatever capacity that you were able to practice. Thanking all those who shared their energy with me today here on the interwebs. I'm grateful for your support and for sharing your practice and for being here. Thank you. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you just be. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, everyone. If you want to practice with me online, this class will be up on Facebook forever at my Facebook site, Dianne Bondy Yoga. So that will go into the archives. It will be here on Instagram in my stories for the next 24 hours, so till 9 a.m. Monday morning tomorrow. And I was taping it on my phone, so it will be on YouTube starting tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed your practice. I'll be here every Sunday at 9. You can also catch me on Tuesdays at warriorflow.com. You can catch me on Wednesdays right back here again with Sunny V Yoga, where we'll be doing a practice on the mat and a practice on the chair simultaneously, which is really fun. And if you're a member of Yoga International, you can practice with me live Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. You do have to be a member, but the good news is if you're not a member, membership is free. So you can go on their site, yogainternational.com/Dianne Bondy, all lowercase letters, and get your free membership. And they run a live class every single day. If you're looking to practice with me, you can practice with me on YouTube, on yogaforeveryone.tv, on OmStars, on Yoga Girl Official, and on Yoga International. So I'm everywhere. Just Google me and you'll find me. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Oh, thank you, everyone. That's a cute way of turning off everything. Thank you, everyone here. Thank you for being here. You are so welcome for everybody who joined. Grateful you're here. Thank you. Love the hearts right back at you.